Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today we've got as close to a mirror matchup as we possibly can without having just one civilization, as two civs with great food bonuses, amazing infantry lines, incredibly heavy cavalry, and castle discounts clash, with Capoch playing as the Slavs in red, getting ready to take on MbL, playing as the Franks in blue. Now the players heard their herdables explore their immediate surroundings and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP. Not a bad time for us to take a look at the Civ matchup that we are going to be watching today. Go and get that second goat. There we go. Now let's take a look at the Slavs, a civilization that loves to get right up in your face. Their infantry, which is already quite strong, can be upgraded to do trample damage, and their unique unit, the Boyar, is a fairly slow but very tanky, very powerful cavalry unit with a high amount of both melee and pierce armor. And to support their melee units on the field of battle against harassment by, maybe ranged units, well, all Slav Siege Workshop units are 15% cheaper, which is great because they have access to basically every single Siege Workshop unit with the exception of the Bombard Cannon, and those cheaper siege units can be combined with Slavic monks, which naturally move 20% faster than normal into an adorably called Smush, a siege monk rush. Now, Slavic towers, Slavic castles can also be upgraded so that 40% of their stone cost is replaced with wood, which does save players a lot of stone. That help grow their military production. They get both the supplies and gamisons upgrade free of charge. Their farmers are the fastest in the game, working 15% faster than normal, and every single barracks, every single archery range, stable, and siege workshop that they build, well, it provides 5 population space just like a house, which does free up a little bit more wood in the early stages of the game for maybe more farms, maybe more castles, maybe more army supply, those discounted siege units. Never know what you can use all that wood for. Excited to watch what Capoch decides to do. Now, let's take a look at the Franks to the south of the map. We've got the OG cavalry civilization harkening back all the way back to the Age of Kings. Their knights come with extra line of sight. Their stables can be upgraded to work much faster, and all of their mounted units come with 20% more HP starting in the Feudal Age. Now, to support their heavy cavalry on the field of battle against annoying things that might want to attack them, like, maybe some halberdiers with Druzhina, well, the Franks can turn to their unique unit, the Throwing Axemen. This is a ranged infantry unit similar to the Malian Gebeto, whose range can be even further increased. And to help you train as many Throwing Axemen as you possibly can, Frankish castles, well, they also come in at a kind of a discount. Don't have to actually upgrade anything. They are naturally 15% cheaper in the Castle Age, and then 25% cheaper in Imperial. That help feed a big militaristic population. Frankish foragers also are the fastest foragers in the game. They work 15% faster than normal, and the Franks, well, they get all mill upgrades free of charge. So those are the two civilizations we've got before us. I'm incredibly excited to cast this game between these two. I'm wondering if I've ever casted a Slav versus Frank game. Like I said, both of them have pristine infantry lines. The Slavs, of course, have the Druzhina trample damage, which is one of the most ridiculous, I think maybe one of the most expensive unique technologies or unique upgrades, whatever it's called, in the game. But aside from that, having castles that are naturally 15-25% cheaper, castles that are having their stone costs replaced with wood, and by the way, that also applies to towers, and by the way, that also applies to repair costs. And so the Detonets upgrade is a fairly powerful one as well. And then just aside from that, the fact that you have the fastest farmers, the fastest foragers, free mill upgrades, there's just a lot of similarities, and I'm incredibly excited, hoping to see who's getting who. At the end of the day, hoping to see elite boyars, hoping to see 192 HP paladins, and hoping to see them take each other on, because I suspect if you have 20 boyars on the left side of the map, and you've got 20 Frankish paladins on the right side of the map, and they clash into one another, well, 20 units versus 20 units might take like an hour to kill each other, because one has a lot of HP, one has a lot of armor. Anyway, enough of my silliness. Let's take a look at our, what do we want to call it, attack path today, because it is messy, and there are a lot of choke points here. There's a random lake in the middle next to the usual center relic. A lot of high ground for players to take. What a messy little map we've got here. A lot of choke points for two civilizations whose archer lines are not that great at all. And so why don't we take a look now where Capoch is. Okay, so you plop down a barracks, which does, remember, for the Slavs, add 5 population space. And so he's got his primary gold off to the side. Primary stone very exposed to the front. Extra gold and stone off to the top right of his base. And where's his third patch of gold? Okay, not perhaps the greatest of locations for these starting resources. I mean, 1, 2, 3 are all kind of dispersed in the forward position. Extra stone. I don't know. The only thing I really like here is the, is the primary gold. Who's getting who? Everything else kind of looks very distant and very isolated. And that stable took him to 40 population space, just like a house would. And it looks like MbL already exploring the Slavic base. The Slav doesn't look like he really is interested in a major wall off, more of a funnel. And we also, in addition to having civilizations that are fairly similar, we also, for one of the only times, have spawning locations that are actually quite symmetrical. Not exactly symmetrical, otherwise blue would have spawned somewhere here with the TC, but a few inches bottom, a few inches to the left, doesn't really matter. Let's take a look at that inch-related base. Primary gold also off to the side, primary stone to the rear position, which is nice. Then you got a little bit of extra gold to the front. Oh, speaking of distant and exposed, look how far away this third patch of gold is. And then where is your secondary stone? It's all the way here to the bottom left. I don't know. These resource locations are atrocious. I'm not a big fan of either one. I don't think either player here naturally advantaged or disadvantaged over the other. MbL opting to actually carve out a base, a settlement that is going to be fully walled off. I'm assuming once this little area gets closed off, because he is going to have his primary gold and primary stone safe and secure for mining, whereas Capoch will just have his primary gold safe. Everything else, 1, 2, 3, 4, he is left outside of the primary settlement, although we'll see. This secures the resources, but also is pulling a lot of villagers, a lot of wood to construct all this, whereas this is already done, and Capoch can now focus all of his villager efforts, expenditure of energy, the calories can all go towards gathering resources and plopping down farms. No surprise that our Slav already has 16 on food to the 13 of the Frank. And it looks like they both kind of discovered where the opponent is. Red has seen blue's base, blues has seen red base. Okay, so we're firmly in feudal. The battle of, hey, I want to take a fight, but I want to avoid your counter unit has begun, as the Frankish spearmen shoot away these Slavic scouts, and more reinforcements coming along. Okay, nice. So we're going to have ourselves the usual scuffle. Scouts are going to avoid spearmen. Spearmen are going to try to close on scouts. Scouts are going to try to catch random units out in the open, individual units, and see if they can snipe them. MbL creating a single gate. Is this the only way out of his base? It is the only way out of his base. He's already starting to mine some gold, but Capoch already has 5 villagers on gold. And this is what I was talking about, the advantage of walling a smaller portion is your villagers can already begin mining their resources. Except that he's now pulled 2 more to complete. This is I guess when he saw the quantity of scouts that our Frank is training, he does not want 4 of them to dive bomb into the back of that base. And there we go, scuffle. Scuffle, scuffle. And Slav. Capoch in red draws first blood as a Frankish scout lies dead on the field. And he's continuing to try to bust his way in here. Poke, 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 poke. All right, but MbL evens up. Gets a kill of his own. And we are firmly at 1-1. So our Slav attacking our Frank attacking our Slav. Both not really end of the world damage. Not really crazy army counts. Ooh, gotta be careful here. Both of them have to be careful. This is not exactly a huge army out of our Frank, and he is outnumbered 3-2. But more of a skill check. What I've learned is called a skill check in this game. Where you just kind of send a small force forward. If you get damage done, great. If not, at least you've distracted your opponent. Villager repairing the gate, because of course there was probably no chance of that gate ever going down. And now 4 Frankish spearmen are chasing 3 Slavic ones away. Okay, so our Frank does have the numbers advantage here finally. Has not found any way inside of this Slavic base. Hasn't really explored this part, but if he did, he would realize that, yeah, he's not really getting in there. And MbL is housed. Oh, man, this happens way too frequently. Way too frequently. And now he is exploring MbL, the periphery of the base, and sees that it is fully walled in. Of course it is. This is a high-level, high elo pro game. I don't imagine anyone would leave any part of their base open if they've already taken... I mean, if you've already seen this, chances are your opponent is pretty walled in. Spearman gets the kill, but will he survive to tell the tale? He does not. So a murder-suicide. And by the way, MbL has seen the extra stone, the extra gold, the extra stone, or the main stone, and the extra gold. So he knows exactly where all 5 resources are. What about Capoch? Okay, he's seen the gold, and the stone, but he has no idea what's inside the base, except he's seen just a little peek of the gold here. Spearman gangbang, as sometimes happens, as Capoch hits Castle Age. MbL not too far behind, about 18 seconds. Down 3 villagers. Looks like the Frankish Spearman got 2 more scouts. And now we're both in castle. What are we transitioning to? More Spearmen. Interesting. Okay, well, I had high hopes for some kind of heavy cavalry. For now, though, both players happy to throw away what little units they have, what Feudal Age units they have, because... Okay, another Spearman dies here. They are both expanding economically. 2 extra TCs for our Slav. 1 exposed on its outside of the campus here, next to the stone. Our Frank. 1 internal, 1 kind of half in, half out. Okay. Pikeman with squires for our Frank. Meanwhile, our Slav has started adding in some heavy cavalry. There we go. I'm glad he's kept these as scouts. Okay. Well, that guy didn't last very long against those pikemen. I was going to say, I'm glad he left them as scouts because they're so much faster than light cavalry. But he's also getting husbandry on them, so they're going to be even faster. And whoa, I mean, what is the HP on these units? They are all dying to love taps. Just like that, 5 kills to 8, but our Frank is here with a lot of pikemen. Oh no, this guy got stuck. He got stuck next to the stone. And he got stuck for just a split second too long, which allowed that Slavic monk to convert him. And here comes another one. Instead of the 0.7 movement speed, 0.84. Oh no, another conversion. You can't charge into a monk and then run away. Especially not if you're bipedal in this game. If you're a scout unit, maybe a 1.71 movement speed. Oh no, he's gonna get another conversion? No, this time MbL runs away in time. Oh, never mind. He does get it. And another poke and another death. I mean, what is this, the One Punch Man game? All of a sudden, every unit is just one-shotting the other unit to death. Oh yeah, look at that. No wonder. Holy moly, what is with your HP? Our Frank first out on the map with a monastery, a siege workshop with a mangonel inside. Couple of spearmen guarding the northern reaches. Couple of spearmen. What are you, a scout? Exploring the southern perimeter. Where are you going? What will you see? Is there any relic nearby? Yeah, there is actually a relic down here. So will he go left? Will he go right? No excuse for the Slav not to be able to gather relics much, much faster than our Frank. With those faster moving monks. Although our Frank already has that center position here. It looks like that center relic did get got by our Slav already. Whose army is an interesting clump of stuff. We got a Scorpion, a Mangonel, a Knight, 2 Spearmen, 3 converted Pikemen, 4 Scouts. Now he's getting Sanctity for his 5 Monks. Another town center very far off campus, but to be fair, given his starting resource position, the position of his starting resources, I'm not surprised that Capoch has to send these town centers out into a bit of a riskier location. Will they catch each other? No, our Frank does not have husbandry, which means this one red scout is going to outrun him very quickly. What happened to those two spearmen here? And will the scout find the monk? Ooh, just... Oh, he must have seen the relic disappear. He did see the relic disappear. He's heading straight for it. For the monk. No, why did you stop? Keep going. Keep going. By the way, it looks like there's a monk out here that's trying to convert this scout back home. Looks like a light cavalry unit charged into its death. Not too sure what a scout thought it was doing, charging straight into a line of pikemen. And he did get the conversion. Oh my goodness, I am missing action all over the place. But luckily we'll have seen that all in picture. Getting a conversion on a scout line unit is a pretty big thing. So far though, it is our Frank. Down 5 villagers, but ahead a little bit in army count, who is putting on the aggression. Out come the monks. With redemption, they are going straight for the mangonels. They get one. Pikemen close. They get a second one as well. And all of a sudden, the mangonel count of our Slav was 2. Now it's 4. He's got 4 mangonels. He only paid for 2. Buy one, literally buy one, get one free. Although not exactly free. Redemption, 475 gold. Not exactly free. Forward castle from our Frank. And also, I mean, I'm talking about how this was such a mirror matchup. You got this random isolated TC in the middle of nowhere. Now our Frank is doing the same thing, going after the contested gold, the more neutral gold patches, and possibly stone out on the map, as opposed to his tertiary, more forward gold patch, which Capoch is keeping an eye on, and Capoch is also placing down a castle right in front of his base. Both of these players playing such a mirrored style here. The only difference is one player has 4 freaking mangonels, and now he's up to 6 monks, but our Frank has 7 monks. There should be one last relic out on the map. They are currently at 2 apiece. Wheelbarrow, pardon me, handcart, gold mining, and stone mining for Capoch. Imperial for our Frank, who loses his monk en route to gathering that relic. And now instead of having his siege workshop converted, he decides to delete it instead. That's a lot of monks converting a single house. Not too sure you want to expend all of your faith doing that. Never know when some Frankish army might appear out of the ether. What is going on up here? I mean, both of these players are just out in the wilderness, out in the middle of nowhere, and I don't mind it at all. I wonder why pro players don't do this more often. At this stage of the game, when scouting is basically done, has Capoch seen, for example, this area of the map? Yeah, so he has seen. I mean, look at the minimap. Capoch has seen a lot of the minimap. His line of sight is actually, his exploration is fantastic. MbL's too. Okay, but MbL has not seen this. So at this point, it's pretty much 90% guaranteed, unless MbL puts a bunch of outposts like Capoch is doing, and then builds maybe a proxy stable or 2 or 3 here to start shoving units into a flank position, that he's not really going to explore that part of the map. And so at this stage, 32 minutes in, the exploration part of the game, it's pretty much over. For the most part, like I said, now it's the kind of accidental exploration. Boyars are out. I'm not sure they should be charging to this many pikemen. I'm not sure they should be missing bloodlines either, but they are doing both. But it doesn't really matter. The pikemen are chasing the villager. They don't notice that they're under attack. Is he going to convert even more pikemen? Oh my god, 2 more pikemen get converted. What an interesting game so far. I mean, Capoch is just basically amassing an army based on whatever the hell MbL is building. MbL is adding chemistry and armor for his infantry. He is going pure pike. And look at this. This is incredible. You gotta love the line of sight. I mean, Capoch is just going ham with the outposts right now. And he's aggressing. Tell me he doesn't have detonets. That's unfortunate. He's up to a second castle. It's not that expensive of an upgrade. Where do you think you're going? It does save you, I believe, 260 stone per castle. And if you're going boyars, if you're going unique unit, you need to get castles up. Both players now in Imperial. More upgrades for our melee cavalry for our Slav. Monk and ranged upgrades for our Frank, who's going hand cannoneer. Does manage to convert one of these boyars. Their shields glistening in the sun. It runs away. I guess 17 attack hand cannoneers are one way to deal with this insane armor on the boyar. I mean, it's nowhere near complete. They're not elite. But they're also, again, they're missing bloodlines. Does our Slav not realize that he's missing bloodlines? Halberdiers now. Look at how many freaking pikemen our Frank has trained. At least add in a few throwing axemen for the gram. Both players getting a shiitake mushroom ton of upgrades. Villager populations not too dissimilar. About 12%, 12 villagers apart. Forward castle falls. Treb needs to get the hell out of here. Bye night. Oh no, never mind. Runs away. So our Frank is missing husbandry. Our Slav is missing bloodlines. And what the hell? I'm not wrong, right? Yeah, he's missing husbandry. He's missing bloodlines. What the hell is going on? Oh my goodness. So just like I thought maybe the Frank would begin exploring parts of the map and putting down stables to start shoving in, I don't know, light cavalry units, harassing villagers here and there. It's in fact our Slav who's plopping. Oh, and look at that. Look at the upgrades. This is all infantry and it's all pikemen right now. So he's going to start being annoying. But the main push is still here to the front. The house, which was Frankish, then Slavic, has now finally been destroyed by the Frank, who said, hey, it's my OG house. It's mine to do with as I please. He moves forward, getting monk upgrades, building line of sight, more armor upgrades for his infantry. These hand cannoneers are shoving into a bunch of mangonels, but these are just basic mangonels, so they'll fall fairly quickly, and two of them do. Elite boyar. Well, then get bloodlines, says the caster, screaming into the microphone. Looks like he's going to keep being annoying, is our Slav, with these small clumps of infantry, but okay. Plenty of castles nearby. Town center as well. I'm not too sure pikemen are going to get that much damage done, although maybe the name of the game isn't really damage, but distraction. Stop you from mining your resources. There's not even enough surface area here for all these villagers. How many boyars are we working with? 24 boyars, but look at all the halberdiers here. Still no deadnets. I mean, both of these players are just missing upgrades. Now, I will say, as much as I'm harping on about the Frank missing husbandry, our Frank is not training a cavalry army at all. He is going pure infantry hand cannoneer. And like I said, the Franks, like the Slavs, have a pristine infantry line. Down goes the last of the mangonels, the only scorpion. They have every single upgrade available in the game for their infantry, and every single infantry available unit available to them. The Franks and the Slavs. The Slavs, of course, have Druzhina with the trample damage advantage, one-on-one. But the lines themselves are pretty clean. And so maybe it doesn't really matter that he's missing husbandry, since he's not training any cavalry units whatsoever. It looks like MbL has had enough of the halberdier run-bys to the back. He looks like he's constructing a castle there. Boyars are nice and pretty and heavy and tanky, but if you're not going to engage into the enemy, why the hell did you train them? And here we go. A bunch of them peel off to the south. They're going straight for the Trebs. The Trebs that have knocked down the castle. They are so freaking tanky. Now they're going after the bombard cannons. Unfortunately, the halberdier hand cannoneer monk combo is more than enough to take out those boyars. Will they get the last Treb? Probably not. And MbL, what the hell? I thought we all agreed not to do this, or we all, the community, no? He is outpost rushing his opponent. Trebs are firing on monks of all things. Our Slav is reinforcing slowly. More units are moving forward. Not that many halberdiers left here for our Frank. I mean, if you had 30 boyars with bloodlines, that's 600 extra HP you could have had on your army. Bombard cannon falls. No more siege for our Frank, by the way, except for this one Treb, which he needs to repair instead of flexing with these silly outposts. He needs to be repairing this Treb. Hand cannoneers move forward. Boyars are also gathering strength. 3 Slavic castles remain. Let's see what's going on here. We've got halberdiers running around. Not exactly the strongest of units, but left unchecked, they will eventually poke and prod your economy to death. Another barracks being added here. I mean, that's ballistics, right? Okay, there we go. Ballistics kicks in. And these last 2 halberdiers, yeah, they don't really stand a chance. I mean, this is... If MbL doesn't win this game, this is just like the biggest FU. And now he realizes he doesn't have bloodlines, finally gets it. He's going up to 31 boyar, so again, 620 extra HP on this army now. But MbL's extending straight into a castle zone. Not too sure why he is going to sacrifice a little bit of HP on his units here. Maybe he's microing back home against the never-ending Slavic halberdier run-bys. No unique text for you. Can't imagine there's any unique text for our Frank as well, who barely has any throwing axemen. He's got 3 somewhere. There's 1. And now the Slav crashes into this army. He should be able to take the halberdiers out fairly quickly this time. And what a difference. I mean, I'm going to highlight just the boyars. Oh my goodness, come on. 900 HP. 750. When that gets to 600, the army would have been dead the last engagement. But now they have longevity. With that longevity, they're sweeping over this Frankish position. And MbL, did he get too cocky with the outpost rush? As he gets pressed back here. Now the boyars are elite, fully upgraded, 11 melee, 7 pierce armor, 18 attack, 150 HP. Our Slav, despite losing his center castle, still has a castle on the right, a castle on the left. Halberdiers are still running around. This barracks is still under attack. This one, ooh, okay, so this is where the throwing axemen were. Got that villager who was constructing that barracks, and now they're going to attack the infrastructure. And our Slav is holding on here with a fairly powerful army of 17 boyars. What's their HP like? Almost perfect HP, only down about 10%. And he's going to discover this town center here. Ooh, but the quick fingers of our Frank will keep these boyars out. Maybe. Okay, maybe not. I guess he was almost done constructing the TC. The halberdiers were almost there to reinforce. This is amazing. I mean, if Capoch manages to win this game, this is, like I said, this is going to be the biggest flex fail I've ever seen. And now the throwing axemen are chasing these halberdiers. Surprised they were attacking this building and not these 2, since they're the ones who can actually train units. Not too sure throwing axemen can continue taking on this many halberdiers as they keep getting pumped out of that those 2 barracks. Okay, well, we'll keep an eye on that. So many halberdiers from our Frank. Holy moly, 40. Going after the monks, he's going after the boyars. We got some hussars out. Boyar count is up to 19. There's Druzhina giving trample damage to these halberdiers. It's a fairly powerful upgrade. I think 5 damage within a half a tile radius for an infantry unit is pretty good. But MbL's not done. He is securing the center with more barracks and 3 archery ranges and a monastery. Cavalry force from our slab, both heavy and light, moves forward. But again, they get caught up in this halberdier mess, this jumble. Ooh, this time they do manage to loop around successfully. Will they be able to get the last bombard cannon? No, another. I mean, for the second time, Capoch has kind of just thrown away his heavy cavalry unit. No more boyars, or pardon me, 1 boyar. Where is... There he is. See how long this guy lasts running the gauntlet of gunpowder. Well, MbL has to actually fire on him. By the way, MbL has lamed the relic income of his opponent. Okay, catching a treb in the middle of nowhere is fantastic. But why did you stop? Did you, you know why he stopped? Because he thought there was 1 treb there. Because of the way this game and its stacking works. But no, there was in fact a second treb right on top of that first one. And what the hell? Husbandry and Cavalier for our Frank, who, to be fair, does have a lot of map control right now and is now raiding with halberdiers himself and is back with more outposts. What the hell is going on in this game? What a fun game. I mean, these halberdiers are going to shred through these hussars. Nothing particularly special about the Slavic hussar, except that with that 15% faster farmer, you can pump out so many of them. Looks like, by the way, back in MbL's base, these halberdiers, okay, enough killing villagers. They're now killing the houses of the villagers. I mean, this guy's got 6 kills. 6 villagers, 7 villager kills. What an absolutely wonky game. And Paladin in 16 seconds. Did he get shit? Oh, no wonder. I was wondering why it was researching so fast. Why it wasn't the usual like 2.5 minutes or whatever the hell the Paladin upgrade, to how long it takes. When you get chivalry and it speeds up your stables by 40%, it reduces the length of the Paladin upgrade by like 70 seconds, which is crazy. And so MbL says, hey, I saw that you have some heavy cavalry. Say hello to my little friend called the fully upgraded Frankish Paladin. 192 HP. Still missing the... Well, I shouldn't say fully upgraded. Still missing the last armor upgrade. And wow, at the end of the day, Capoch's economy suffers a bit more loss than the Frankish economy, which is interesting because our Slav was raiding the Frankish economy a lot earlier and a lot more intensely. But towards the, I guess when you're raiding with halberdiers, it takes a while to kill villagers. When you're raiding with paladins, fully upgraded attack-wise, 18 attack, it doesn't take that long to kill a villager. And now he's discovered this farming community. He's running by the castle with 192 HP. You can run by whatever number of castles you want. Outpost. I mean, this is just... I thought, again, let me know what you think about this, but I thought we agreed not to do this. What a wonky game. MbL for the longest time going halberdier, hand cannoneer route, and our Slav twice threw away a boyar heavy army trying to loop around halberdiers to get the bombard cannons and trebs. And twice he lost his boyars. Maybe even 3 times now that I think about it. Meanwhile, MbL, little by little, building by building, took over the center, and with the center took map control. And our Slav, even though this was very nice and very fun to watch, never really got out onto the map. I mean, this is the furthest Capoch has gotten out onto the map in this part. And did MbL discover the northern? No, he still hasn't explored. So this is what I was talking about. At that stage of the game, in the 30-minute mark, exploration is usually done. And so I'm a little bit more, a little surprised that pro players don't expand out onto the map into random locations more often. But in this case, both of them did. It was a very fun, almost kind of mirrored matchup. They both went heavy on their halberdiers. I'm also a little surprised it took Capoch so long to get Druzhina. A little surprised it took MbL so long to actually transition into cavalry, because I feel like Capoch there should have been something in the wind, you know, when you go down to the, anytime you go anywhere that is any city or park or anything that's on the water, there's kind of like a smell in the air, especially if it's like a salt lake. If you go down to the coastline or you're on vacation, you go to the city and you kind of smell the salt air of the water. I don't know what city, anywhere in Greece, I don't know, somewhere you just kind of smell. You should kind of smell that your opponent is going to start shoving heavy cavalry down your throat any second now. And then even though our Slav did try to hold the line with Hussars, they're not really a hold the line kind of unit, are they? Not against hand cannoneer and halberdier. They're more of a send me over here and let me raid, let me kill villagers. I wonder if Capoch, instead of trying to defend at home, which is, you know, a natural instinct, can't fault him for that. Who the hell wouldn't, when they see so many hand cannoneers shoving in, not want to defend the home front? It's hard to pull 20, 30 Hussars and then just send them across the map to raid. But maybe that's what he should have done. Because at the end of the day, even though he was raiding the economy first, look at that, 55 villager kills to 21. MbL has 170 more kills on the whole. And that's good kill numbers. That's what you get when you have basically 55 minutes of spearman play. And I was wondering why the players were training spearmen in the Castle Age. And there you go. We went heavy on the infantry between two very powerful cavalry civilization. And look at that, 201 to 209 halberdiers. That's pretty awesome. Boyars, I mean, the Boyars should have done a lot better. I don't know that they necessarily needed to engage into those halberdiers. I love that we didn't see a single archer, skirmisher, cavalry archer. I love that we didn't see a single ranged unit, with the exception of some mangonels and a scorpion, bombard cannons, and monks. Those were the ranged units we got to see, and the Trebs, of course, this game. Not a single archer was trained. Amazing. How many games can you say you've watched or played where not a single ranged unit was actually produced by the players? I close this for a reason. I want to see how many kills. 94 kills on these hand cannoneers. That's a lot of, remember, they come with a +10 attack bonus against infantry. That's a lot of dead halberdiers. What a fun game. PKPM also very similar, 147 to 150. 41 minutes in, 51 minutes in. Yeah, economy, not that, I mean, 14,000 resources. Yeah, let's take a look at where that came. Yeah, obviously the food. 10,000 more food. Everything else is just a little bit more, basically identical stone. But the food, 10,000 more food. There's your Slavic farmer. The fastest, the best farmer in the game. Oh, I don't know, best farmer in the game. The Khmer farmer is pretty damn good too. 22 conversions to 15, 22 raisings to 18. Lots and lots of near numbers, very close stats. MbL back. And I thought for a second that Capoch was going to, when he had cleared up this center position and he had amassed that army of boyars, although it wasn't as large as the first one, I thought he stood a chance of maybe being able to press back the Frankish tide. But no, the Frankish tide is back, rebuilds the outposts, and both players going heavy on the infantry, both players fighting very similar style, but I feel like our Slav just took some very, very bad engagements with his very, very heavy, most powerful unit. And they were both raiding the hell out of each other the entire game. I mean, these barracks went up like 20, 25 minutes ago. And ever since then, it was just nonstop halberdiers shoving into the base, killing villagers. And ultimately, it is MbL who's getting map control, who manages to just outproduce total resources collected. Again, the Slav a lot more, But when you take bad engagement after bad engagement, I don't know that it really helps that you gathered more resources. And MbL kept his hand cannoneers alive so long, they literally have 3 kills to 1 unit. And that is just absolutely amazing in MbL with this very cocky outpost push. Takes the W, but GG to both players.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.